Flammy friends! So, I just watched Netflix's Power Rangers Once and Always, and oh boy, it's something, guys. I'll admit, I'm probably not the target audience with this. While I grew up with the original Rangers, I have not kept up with it since then. Which is why I feel like there were a lot of references and Easter eggs that just sort of flew right over my head, such as Billy having a flying car and Zach being a congressman. Fair warning ahead, there will be some brief spoilers, so just prepare yourself. That being said, before we get into the review, please consider liking and subscribing if you want to stay up to date on all the news and reviews going on in entertainment and gaming, as each subscription makes me slightly more powerful than before. Now, let's get on to it. I'm actually having a bit of a hard time figuring out where to begin with this one, because a lot of what I'd consider flaws of the movies are Power Rangers tropes. Like, not using your powerful weapons against the monsters until the very end, and instead just punching and kicking them. So instead, I'm just going to try to approach this from more of a, is it a good film perspective? And the short answer to that really is no. The longer answer is mostly no. While I love that so many people came back to reprise their original roles, the acting is really bad to me. I can only think of one scene in the entire show that actually made me believe that these people were feeling anything at all, and weren't just reading cue cards in front of them. The scene in question was actually a good one between Zach Taylor, played by Walter Jones, and Min Kwan, daughter of Trini Kwan, played by Charlie Kirsch.
Can we have the room?
No problem, Zach. My sensors are detecting a vibe.
They actually do have a good moment together where Min is upset about Billy, played again by David Yost, over the death of her mother, as she fully blames him for Trini's death. Zach tells her not just about her mom and how Billy was the one who ultimately wanted to tell Min the truth about Trini being a ranger, but also talks about the responsibility of being a ranger as well. It was one of the few scenes where I actually felt a small connection to the people on screen, as if these actors were truly trying to convey something, and it stood out to me from among the rest of the sometimes really rough line reads they do throughout this. Speaking of Trini's death, I realized why they did it, as the original actress who played her, Tui Trong, passed away, and they wanted to honor that in this movie. However, if you remove the real-world aspect of that loss from this and play it solely how it is on the show, it feels really half-assed. What you get in the initial trailer is pretty much the first few minutes of the movie. 3 minutes in to be exact, and the deed is done. The Yellow Ranger is gone and vaporized. Which is kind of odd, because later on we get Min performing pretty much the exact same sacrifice for Billy that her mother did, throwing herself in front of the death blast, only this time it does not kill and vaporize her. I guess this is because the power of the saber-toothed tiger morpher might have saved her, but they really don't explain it at all. All I know is they were very close to making Billy have the highest Power Ranger body count, as he would have been responsible for 2 deaths in the span of 1 year. Which is not a good look, buddy. The heart of this movie is the interactions between Billy, Zach, and Min, but unfortunately so much of them feels stilted and forced, which honestly reminds me of the original series in some of the worst ways possible. Now, that's not to say it's all bad. The visuals are a step up from what I remember, while still retaining the classic feel, even with a few scenes showing the obvious zippers on a lot of the outfits. The fight scenes are about what you'd expect given the Power Rangers show, and one thing I did like was it gave us a decent reason as to why they stayed depowered a good bit through the show. So that way we can actually see these actors rather than just have them masked up all the time. And I'd be lying if seeing the Megazord fuse on screen didn't take me back to being a kid. It was cool then, and even now it still brought a bit of a smile to my face. The story is about what you'd expect from a Power Rangers show as well. It's not particularly complicated, thought-provoking, or moving, but it's hard to really critique it when its source material is what it is. Which is why it really makes it hard to say that this is an outright bad movie, because so much of what bothers me about it is sort of encoded into the DNA of the franchise. I'm aware I might fully get some flack for this, but I personally didn't mind the take of the rebooted Power Rangers film that came out in 2017. While it definitely had its many flaws, I really dug the Breakfast Club vibe of the main cast, and something more akin to that direction is where I'd love to see a more modern Power Rangers go. But that's not this. This is, in every sense of the word, a dedication and tribute to the OG, for better or for worse. I also want to say that I do like at the end they give proper credit to both Tui Tron and Jason David Frank in a rather beautiful cutback to the original series. It was short, sweet, but just really moving. So, what are my final thoughts on this? I personally wasn't a fan, but I also don't think that I was the target audience of this. If you're someone who still watches Power Rangers today or even rewatches the classic series with a fondness, then I have no doubt you will likely find something in this to enjoy. For me, though, it was more of a reminder of just how far television has come rather than a nostalgic blast from the past. That's all I've got for now, Planety friends. What did you guys think of this take on the Rangers? Were you satisfied with how it was handled, and were you excited to see the old cast return? Let me know in the comments below, and until next time, bye.